If you're walking into the new year saying, I just want to feel better, I just want more ease, I just want things to change, but you haven't decided who you're becoming, you're not setting intentions, you're hoping. And hope is cute, but intention is fierce because intention forces clarity, and clarity kills identities that can't come with you. So today, we're talking about intention. Not resolutions to go to the gym, not vision boards that you forget about by February, not good vibes only toxic positivity, but the kind of focus that locks in your nervous system, your behavior, and even your bank account. And yes, we're going to talk about grieving what you're not taking into 2026, because pretending that that part doesn't hurt is one reason why people stay stuck. I'm Angie, the Inner Glow Coach, and my work is about helping women stop abandoning themselves on the way to success and build lives that actually feel good. So before we talk about intention, we need to talk about grief, because every new year triggers the same evaluation of our lives. And in all fairness, you should be doing this more than once a year, whenever necessary. But this is the time of year that most people arrive at an evaluation cycle. So as the calendar turns over, ask yourself, what can't come with you to 2026? And this could be anything: family, friends, jobs, habits. But it also includes versions of yourself that hold beliefs such as, my worth depends on what I do for others. If someone is upset with me, I am unsafe. Rest must be earned. I'm responsible for everyone's emotions. I have to work hard to make money. Money, love, whatever is not available to me. If I shine, someone else will be disappointed. And you don't just drop these identities without an emotional reaction. There is real grief in outgrowing versions of yourself, even if they were in survival mode, even if they were exhausting, even if they were causing you pain. So if you're feeling emotional or unusually heavy right now, nothing is wrong with you. You're not lazy or unmotivated, and you don't need to fix yourself. You're integrating, because if you don't consciously grieve old identities, you'll unconsciously recreate them. So what does setting an intention mean? An intention in this context, it's not a goal, it's not a wish, and it's not a manifestation. An intention is what you agree to focus on repeatedly, even if it's uncomfortable, because your nervous system follows your focus, and your behavior follows your nervous system, and your results follow your behavior. So what this means is you don't get what you want, you get what you focus on. So if your focus is, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be burned out, I don't want another bad relationship, then you're focused on being broke, being burned out, and being in a bad relationship. And those will be your results. An intention is focused on your identity. So blank is who I'm becoming, so blank is what I'm focusing on. So this is what it means in practice. Most people only set intentions for the year. And just to be clear, I highly recommend doing that. You should set an intention for this entire upcoming year or time period if you're not going to do an entire calendar year. But my point is, don't stop there, because your life happens daily. At the beginning of this year, I started a practice of setting a daily intention. And I'm not even exaggerating. As long as I was focused on that intention throughout the day, whether it was serendipity, a new opportunity, making a new connection, or whatever, that thing would happen that exact same day. And even more recently, I started with segmented daily intentions. So within your daily intention, before you touch your phone, before you get in your car, before you wash the dishes, before you do anything, you set an intention. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming, because I tend to have the similar intentions throughout the day because I think if you set a wildly different intention for each segment, it could be overwhelming. But the entire point of doing this is to be mindful of how we're moving through our day, and equally as important, live in coherence to who we are becoming. So the intentions can be simple, such as calm, decisive, regulated. That's one I use a lot. Bold, expansive, like one word. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. So before a meeting, a date, content creation, dinner, errands, simply ask yourself, who am I being in this next hour? Not what you're doing, but who you are being. And this is how identity shifts happen without force. So let me tell you a larger story of how this works in practice. In early 2018, I was living in Chicago and I decided I'm moving to Hawaii. Not maybe, not someday, not if it works out, because those are things I had been telling myself for years. I made the decision that I was moving. And the cost of living in Chicago and Hawaii was very similar, except for real estate. So the problem was, to afford a comparable condo in Hawaii, I needed $100,000 more than what I had saved. And even though that seemed unrealistic to come up with that kind of money, I didn't obsess over the how. I obsessed over alignment. So every decision I made ran through one filter. Does this move me closer to Hawaii or further away? So I focused on opportunities that expanded me, work and hobbies that stretched my capacity. I focused on getting out of my comfort zone every single day, no matter how seemingly small. I focused on being the kind of person who moved from Chicago to Hawaii on their own, boldly, without fear. And what I stopped focusing on were distractions, proving myself, and all of the fears about why I couldn't or shouldn't do it. So long story short, within 6 months, I came up with $100,000, and most of it was from 2 or 3 totally unexpected places. So my point, and I did get a raise and bonus at work that was unexpected, but my point is I didn't receive the money from hustling to the ground, because my previous mindset was that I had to work hard to make money, and the only way to make that kind of money was to hustle. But the reason I was able to come up with that kind of money in such a short a period of time is because my nervous system had a North Star that I was constantly recalibrating with. And my point is, when your intention is clear, your nervous system stops panicking. And the important part about that is, when your nervous system is calm and does not think it's in danger, then you can think more clearly and your decisions actually sharpen. So even though it sounds like magic, it's just being in coherence with who you're becoming. So if you keep saying, I don't know what I want, I question you to question yourself, because you probably do. You're just afraid of who you'd have to disappoint if you admit it. And the disappointment could even be disappointing a previous identity of your own, because intention threatens people-pleasing, old dynamics, and even versions of you that survived even though they weren't thriving. And that's why most people stay vague, because vagueness feels safer than power. But when you're clear, life responds. And it may not be instantly or exactly how you envision it, but it happens, and it happens consistently. So I'll end with this. And I want you to pause this video, like actually pause it and do this exercise. Take a piece of paper or your journal or whatever and write this down. Watch out, everybody. I'm blank. And the blank is who you are becoming. not what you're doing, not habits that you're quitting, who you are becoming. So again, this could be simple. Watch out, everybody, I'm regulated. Watch out, everybody, I trust myself. Watch out, everybody, I'm wealthy. Watch out, everybody, I'm emotionally unavailable for chaos. Watch out, everybody, I am the woman who follows through. Watch out, everybody, I am the woman who doesn't abandon herself. Watch out, everybody, I am louder, brighter, and giving less Fs. So say it out loud, let it land in your nervous system. And if it scares you a little, good, because you want to get your nervous system comfortable with these things. Because if your nervous system is too scared of stepping into your new identity, it's going to take longer to become that version of you. And intention isn't about controlling the future. It's about deciding who you are now and act in the essence of that person. Because when you do that, everything else rearranges. Your behaviors will follow, and your experience in life will follow your behaviors. So if this video stirred something in you and you feel seen and even slightly exposed, that is not an accident, because this is the work I do: identity, nervous system, and empowerment. So stay close, subscribe, and if you're ready to stop circling the same year over and over and over again, you already know where to find me. So watch out, everybody. I'm coming in hot with more content to help you become the best version of yourself that shines so bright that it hurts their eyes.